be Angelle out of Louisiana on the other one of the Vance and Hines scooters as they get ready to fire up her Suzuki, and Steve Johnson. And Steve Johnson, I guarantee you, looking to find some of that performance that he had earlier in the season now as we get started into the countdown to the championship. For those of you who may be curious about practices and procedures here in the NHRA, the run order in this first qualifying session is set by points. If you have a lot of points, like, well, Matt Smith and Joey Gladstone, you get to be last. If you're third and fourth in the points, like, well, Angelle and Steve, you get to be right now. Angelle also had an Indy that she'd like to put behind her. She had a great motorcycle, had a mental mistake on the starting line, and she would tell you exactly the same thing. I'm not talking behind her back and let one get away. So she couldn't wait to get out here to one of her favorite places. She won her first race here 26 years ago.
And took in all the sights and sounds of Philadelphia, including the Liberty Bell, prior to this race.
That thing doesn't work anymore, does it? 677, Steve Johnson, 198. Angelle goes 678 at 201 miles an hour. Both solid. Not quite in Angie Smith territory. Angie's still number one at 675, but they're starting to get a little closer to her. That was a good, solid run for both those teams.
Oh, yes. Great way to start off Q1 of the playoffs. Angelle in the 70s, both in the 70s, and that brings up Joey Gladstone and Matt Smith. Matt Smith on that Denso bike after the U.S. Nationals victory. He's the reigning champ wearing the number 1. Alan referenced it, the podcast guest appearance earlier this week, and when we asked, like, hey, who you worried about? Who you thinking about? Who's your greatest rival? He named the driver in the other lane, Joey Gladstone.
Yeah, Joey Gladstone has got a whole truckload of talent. That Diamond W, Fatheads Eyewear, Suzuki Extended Protection bike, and he finally broke through and got his first win. And there's a difference between believing you can do it and then knowing you can do it. The difference between his first win and his second win was, well, the very next race. Matt Smith going to start on the Buell this week, and he revealed that again on Joe's WFO radio earlier in the week. He said, I'm not giving up on the Suzuki program, but right now the Buell is the better bike. .676, 201 miles an hour for Matt Smith. .681, 198 miles an hour for Joey Gladstone. Matt Smith is going to go to the number 2 position behind his wife, because knocking your wife out of the number 1 spot is not a good way to start down your Friday night, or the countdown for that matter. And Joey Gladstone, 681, is barely going to put him in the top half of the field. So that's a solid first session. And we end up with Gage Herrera down there on the bump spot. Ryan Ehlers, 15. The Rat, Ron Torno, sitting number 14. Kelly Klontz, 13. Gianna Evaristo, career best for number 12. Karen Stouffer is 11. Scotty Polachek, 10. Chris Bostic is number 9. The quick half is Joey Gladstone in the number 8 spot. Little Hector Jr. is in the number 7 spot. Number 6 is the Alligator Man. How about Mark Ingerson with a career best, starting off in the number 5 spot. Angelle is 4. Stevie J is 3. Matt Smith, number 2. And sitting on top of the heap right now, that'd be Angie, the pink Denso Buell.